Hello, good looking. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Chang from Hobo Venture.
This is Dan from Vagabond Awake.
And today we are bringing you this topic from Boracay.
Boracay in the Philippines.
Yes, look, the beautiful water behind us.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And we're trying to save you a little trouble. We've been traveling the world together for 7 years, and I have been even longer, 16 plus years.
Yeah.
And we use certain applications on our smartphones and on our computers that save us a lot of hassle.
So there is a nice apps or nice solution or nice whatever thing that help us for our travel become very easy, and we would like to share it with you.
Yeah, 9 tools to make your life easier if you're a traveler.
True.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Number 1 is accommodations. We use Booking, Agoda, and Airbnb.
Yes, we will use those Booking.com, Airbnb, and Agoda for our about 1 to 5 nights hotel room.
Yes.
And then we only will go under the ground and search for the cheaper accommodation. But first we will book from all these Booking.com, Agoda, Airbnb to get our first 3 night or 5 night hotel.
Yeah, that way when we arrive in a city, we have somewhere to go to drop our luggage, and then if we're going to stay for a long time, we can go find better rents, because the best rents are not online.
True. Remember that the best rent is not online.
Yeah, you have to do some footwork.
Yeah.
So do you use all 3 every time?
Yes, actually when I found one accommodation, example like Garden View Resort, and then I will search in the Google to see what they put their accommodation there in the, maybe they put in Booking.com, maybe they booking in the Airbnb, and easy they have Facebook page. If they have a Facebook page, I will go direct to them.
Yeah, because you can book direct and save the commission, right?
True.
If you can find it anywhere on Google Maps or Facebook or the other one, whatever you didn't use. If you used Airbnb, then on Booking or Agoda. And so that's a little trick you can use. And sometimes you'll save enough where you'll book, maybe we'll book a few more days. Maybe we'll start with 2 or 3 days, which gives us more time to find a great deal once our feet are on the ground.
True.
Yeah. And once you've got dropped your luggage and you're in the new city, wherever you're going, then you want to check out my report on, just Google Vagabond Buddha, how to find the perfect apartments around the world. And that will teach you how we walk around the town and how we find stuff and how we book stuff longer term.
Do you have a report to how to find the best partner in the world?
I do. Yeah, that's called How to Find Love Overseas. And it's not just a great partner. You want a great partner with a great passport, and I cover why in there. It's easier to travel if you don't have to get visas everywhere you go. Chung's from Malaysia. She's easy to travel with. We don't need visas for her or me, because I'm US, she's Malaysia. They're both great passports. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is a Facebook expat group. That's a very important group.
Yeah, we use that all the time. And the reason you need it is because when you go to a new city, there's information that you can get from expats that already live there.
Yes.
Where do they shop? Where's the public market? Do they have a doctor if you need a doctor? Where do they take their laundry? What kind of visa tricks do they know about? All kinds of things. And also you can meet some that have been there a long time, and maybe they have information about best areas of town, just almost anything. So Facebook expat groups are great for that.
True. How to find that is an example. You are in the Philippines, you go to Philippine expat group. But if you want specific one, maybe Iloilo City expat group, Dumaguete expat group, Makati expat group. From that, you will find them.
Yeah. So sometimes you can find very specific Facebook groups. Other times it's just the whole country will have an expat group.
True.
So that requires you to do some searching on Facebook to find out.
Yeah.
Okay, the next tool is called Google Translate. We travel all over the world. We're not limited by language. And so when we get to a country where we don't speak the language, which is most of them.
Like Vietnamese language.
Vietnam. I don't. Thai, Filipino. I mean, just
Spanish.
Portuguese, Spanish. So you can use Google Translate in a number of ways, which you can type in the word, the English word, and you can type in a sentence and it'll translate it into whatever language you want, and then you just show it to the person and they know what it is you want. And then you get around some of the problems you have where you ask them something and they're just trying to be polite. They think you know what they mean and they just point in some direction and you wander off walking and you get no closer, you just waste your time. And so that's one way. The other way is when you go in a grocery store and you're trying to find stuff and it all has different labels on it, you can just put Google in front of the item and read the translation right on Google that you're pointing it out, whatever language it's in.
True.
And you can also talk into the Google Translate, say whatever you want to say, and it'll talk to the person if you don't have time to type. So it's a very powerful tool when you like to travel the world like we do and you don't want to be limited by language.
Yeah, and also the Google Map, that's how we find the restaurants. And I also read the review, TripAdvisor review to check the restaurant, the accommodation, everything. And the Google Map also is good, like when we arrive in the city, and we have a lot of places that we want to go. So we link it in a Google Map to see how we can do the tour by ourselves, how we can see the place by ourselves.
Yeah, that's great. So if you have 6 or 8 places you want to see, you'll see on our reports where we do what we call Old Town walking tours, and you'll see our maps there. And what those are is they're interactive maps. You just click it and you can go walk through our Old Town walking tour. But you can also use the same function on Google Maps. You put in all the places you want to see and it maps them out, and then you see, wait, Google's taking me over here and then down here and then over there, and you realize, hey, wait a second, if I go this way, the whole thing can be done in an hour instead of 4 hours in taxi rides and bus rides. So it saves you a lot of time. And Chung also mentioned Google reviews. With Google Translate, you can take a review and you can copy it and put it into Google Translate and read it what it is in English if they're not using English in that country. So Google Translate, there's combinations of these things work for maps and for reviews on restaurants where you use Translate and reviews together.
Yes, and also Google Map also will tell you in the big city, they will tell you which bus you can go to the next destination.
Yes.
They will show you the bus, the number, what time they will arrive. Most of the time they are quite on time, but don't expect too much. As long as you can get a bus number to go to your next destination.
Yeah, so you put you just put where you want to go and you hit the little bus icon and it'll show you a map where you need to walk to for the bus station.
Yes.
And then it tells you what the bus number is, and when the bus pulls up you just jump on and off you go. Okay.
Yeah. Number 4 is the online taxi apps. Uber, Grab, Bolt, Gojek, AirAsia, InDrive. Okay, one thing is most in the Latin America, you still can use Uber. In Southeast Asia, mostly they use Grab. No more Uber in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
But different countries have their different apps. Like in Malaysia, they have AirAsia, they have Maxim, they have a lot of different apps. And in Thailand, they have Bolt, B-O-L-T, Bolt.
Right.
And also in Indonesia, they have it's called Gojek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's different.
And these taxis are great because if you don't speak the language, you just put in the spot you want to go to. When the car arrives, it doesn't matter if they speak the language. You don't have to negotiate the price. You don't have to tell them where to go. The app has done all that. They just pull up to the spot. You look on the map and see if you're in the right spot. You jump off the taxi. You don't know a single word of whatever that language was, and it's taking you wherever you need to go.
Yes.
And it's also safer because there's an international record of where you got in that car and potentially when you got out and the last person you saw. So it's way better than flagging a taxi down and trying to tell them where you want to go and negotiate a price. They're going to think this guy's a mark because he can't speak my language. I'm going to jack my fees up. None of that happens with these apps.
This is good for you to go to a new country, new places. But when you are down there for a month or two, you know where to go, how to go. You know that how much local pay for the normal fee.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So those apps is just good for you when you're in the new places.
Yeah, because once you're on the ground and you know information, like for example in the Philippines, you can take these tricycles, you can take jeepneys. Those might cost you a dime.
Yeah.
Whereas it'll cost you 50 cents or $1 to take a Grab. So you can save money doing local. And the other thing is, when you first arrive in a country, before you even get on that plane, you want to check and see what app works and whether or not it'll pick you up at the airport, because that will save. That's the most expensive transportation when you international, is getting from the airport to your first accommodation.
True.
And so see if they have it, and then which one they are, and be ready to
register. Put on your credit card inside if you don't have a local currency. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is good.
Takes care of all that for you. Now, the best communication tools that we use are called WhatsApp and Zoom. They're both applications you can use, download to both your phone and your computer. With WhatsApp, much of the world now is on not only local phone numbers, but their phone numbers registered in WhatsApp. And if you check, you'll often find that they have both. And all you need is a data card or an internet connection, and you can send them without a local SIM even. You can send them a message on WhatsApp, and it comes right on their phone, just like a local text would.
It's much more easy for communication when they have a WhatsApp, and you can send picture to tell them, it did display, show me the place. WhatsApp, you know, everything can done in the WhatsApp.
Yeah, Zoom's good. Zoom good for your family when you need to contact your family. Make sure before you leave your country, you get them on the Zoom on their computer or their phone. And if something's up, you want to call and say hi, and just stay in contact with your family and friends. If they have that Zoom link, they'll say a link in an email or whatever, and you'll be able to talk with them in video, face to face on Zoom, and it's free.
And also multiple people, like during the lockdown, we have a Zoom call every week.
Yeah, with our families. Yeah.
A lot of family all together.
So that's how you stay in touch with. You can do other ones like Facebook and whatever, but Zoom's a nice one because you can have multiple people on there. It's very simple to use, and so Zoom is great for communications.
Sure.
Okay, for security now, I recommend you get a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network, and it's an application that an app that goes on your phone and or your computer, and no matter what, I'll say it 3 times, no matter what, when you log on to your bank or your brokerage account, you do it through a VPN, and it's kind of like a tube from you to them, and people can't snoop your password or any of your account numbers or any of that. VPN's the way to go. Now, I don't do affiliate links, but you can use mine. I use Pure VPN. I've been happy with them, but there's a bunch of them out there, and so VPN's the way to go. Anytime you're doing a financial transaction, or you're on a public Wi-Fi of any kind, you want to use your VPN, so you don't want people snooping your passwords and be able to come into your accounts.
Yeah, but for my personal, I will not do any financial transaction in the public Wi-Fi.
Very smart.
Even have a VPN, I not trust it. I only use my SIM card data on my phone or my exclusive Wi-Fi in the Airbnb apartment. That's exclusive to me. I only will do the transaction.
Yeah, and you also want to set up your 2-factor authentication before you leave your home country. Yeah, so I use Google Voice for 2-factor authentication, but you have to do it before you leave your home country because for a number of reasons, which I'll explain in my free report, how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 16 plus years, which you'll find if you go to vagabondbuddha.com. You'll see a free ebook link at the top. It's kind of complicated, but you need to read all the things in there, especially about banking to set up your 2-factor authentication.
True, because it's too much procedure, process on that. So it's better you go to Vagabond Buddha website, get your free ebook, and you get all the detail over there.
Yeah, and there's a lot more in there. It's not just about that. It's about everything. So.
Yes. The next one is people like me who like to shopping.
You shop?
Online shopping, and the good online shopping apps that I use is called Shopee. Shopee is a Singapore company, and they established this e-commerce platform since 2015, and they are mostly in Southeast Asia, but right now it's very good news. You know what?
What?
They are also in Mexico, Chile, Brazil.
Wow.
And one more is Colombia.
Wow.
So you can use this online Shopee app to buy things. from all over the world. That
Yeah.
is my favorite app to buying stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of like an Amazon, but
Yeah.
it goes to more remote places
Yes.
for better prices on shipping sometimes.
Yeah, true. And you can get better stuff, you know, not better stuff, you can get more choices stuff. In Amazon, I don't know, the choices is kind of limited for me when we in Latin America, but in Shopee, I get more choices for that.
Right.
Yes.
So online shopping.
Yes, it's online shopping.
So it doesn't end when you leave your home country, you can still shop online.
Yeah, I shop in Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam. I haven't tried Latin America yet, but soon we will be there
Yeah.
and try in Chile.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. The one, how to say Sky Scanner, you start better. Scanner.
When you want to book a flight, we recommend you start with Sky Scanner.
I know, I always say Sky Scanner.
Yeah, you always say it wrong. So Skyscanner is like it's like a search engine that goes to all the airlines and downloads what their prices are and what the last sale was and all that. So you just put in where you're starting from and where you're going to, and you can even give a range of days.
Yes.
And it will give you prices, and they'll be substantially lower than you try to do it on yourself. It's called Skyscanner. And once you get a low price, then what do?
We will go direct to the main airline, the original airline. Example, just like go to KLM, like showing that KLM airline have a best fare. We will direct go to KLM website and book from KLM
So
airline.
why would you want to book direct instead of Skyscanner?
Because if anything changes or refund, it's much more easy to direct deal with the airline company better than the Skyscanner.
Yeah, so what Skyscanner does is it gives you choices of people that you can buy from that are cheaper than the airline. And that's a benefit. You might save $50 on a flight. Depends how far it is and all that, you know. But we're recommending that whenever it's close, you know, within 20, 30 bucks, we go direct to the airline, because once you have that one-to-one relationship with the airline, it's easier than dealing for one of these third-party discount travel agencies. And sometimes you can get a much better deal on a flight change or cancellation. Yeah. So go direct.
Yeah, because we did book one time in Skyscanner. I might say it right this time, right?
Skyscanner.
Skyscanner. And then they cancel our flight right away. Why? Because at Skyscanner the flight is cheaper, and then the original airline is expensive, and then they direct cancel our flight. Then we have to find a new flight. So it's kind of complicated, but it's a good app to filter what airline have a best flight for your destination.
Yeah, it's the best. We continue to use it. It's the best.
Yeah.
So finally, you need to understand that since the pandemic, more countries are requiring you to have an onward flight. When you arrive in that country, they want proof that you're leaving. They call that an onward flight. It doesn't have to be a round trip ticket, but it has to be a flight leaving the country. And also, before you even board the plane, the airline you're flying on, if you show them a one-way ticket, they might say, you need to buy an onward or a round trip ticket, because when you get to that country, if they don't let you into immigration, they're going to make us fly you back for free. So you can get an onward flight. Just Google the words onward flights, and for about $10 to $12 to $15, they'll book a flight in your name for the 12-hour period or 20-hour period when you go to immigration through when you board in the country, or when you go from check-in at the airport to the country you're going to. If they check in the airline system, you're in there on that flight.
Actually, is that you book the flight, you got 24 to 48 hours. Your name in the airline, that's your name reserves the seat in the airline. Right. And it's not immigration asks you your ticket or your overflight ticket. It's very seldom we saw that. It's the airline. When you want to departure.
Yeah, so when you go to the airport to check in to fly to this country where you only have a one-way ticket, they may say, where's your onward flight? And if you don't have something to show them, then they may require you to buy theirs, and it's going to be way more money than if you had booked an onward flight at home or did this onward flight thing where you only pay 10, 12, 15 bucks. Yes. It's when you're flying to your home country they don't ask for it. Yes. Because that's where you live.
Yes.
Now I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. So when you're from US, you want to come to Thailand, Philippines, you need to have an onward flight ticket, because the airline will request you to have they want to key in that you have that ticket, or they want to see before they give you your boarding pass.
Right.
It is very true.
Yeah, but anytime you're buying a one-way ticket to your home country, don't buy it. You don't need onward flight. That's where you live. You don't need to leave your home country. It's all these other countries where you don't have residency that they want proof.
True. So there is a 9 apps that we recommend you to have.
So those are like 9 things you really need to learn quick, but there's more detail in that free report I talked about at Vagabond Buddha.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching. The wind is so strong because my camera fell down just now.
And some of you have been watching us a long time and you might be wondering, are they getting married? Watch this video up here.
Yeah.
Chung and I talk about that. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you in the next time. Bye bye.